welcome back to Good Vibras. I hope you guys had an amazing, refreshing weekend and are having a good start to the week. I just wanted to thank you guys so much. The first episode was released last Tuesday, and I got such great feedback from it. A lot of you guys sent me DMs and were just saying how the episode helped you, was inspiring. You guys were just sending so much love and support to me, and I'm so grateful for it. Really, it means so much to me. You guys are amazing, and I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed the first episode. I even got some episode suggestions for the future, so I'm super excited to work on those too. Like I said, if you guys ever have any episode suggestions or just questions in general, please feel free to DM me on my personal Instagram or the Good Vibras, Good Vibras of Instagram, because I look at my DMs and I answer them. So definitely, if you're trying to get a hold of me or have any questions or whatever, please slide in the DMs. I got you. But again, thank you guys so much for the love and support. It truly means so much to me, and I'm so excited to continue recording episodes for you guys. So today's episode, I want to talk about moving to a whole new state. If you guys know that I'm from New Jersey, born and raised Jersey girl, and then recently I just moved to Florida. So yeah, this episode we're just going to talk about the whole process of moving to a whole new state and just the benefits from doing that and just some lessons that I've been learning along the way. So here we go. So you guys are probably wondering, like, Brie, why Florida of all states? And it's funny because I've actually always low-key loved Florida. When I was younger, my family and I, we would come to Florida quite often. We would go to Disney World. We did all of that stuff a few times. And then I actually had family at the time that lived in Fort Lauderdale. So we would go and visit. And if you guys don't know where that is, that's like on the east coast of Florida. So we would go and visit, and I remember being a little girl and just like being obsessed with palm trees. Like every time I saw palm trees, I got so excited. I just associated it with like Caribbean vibes, and Florida was always sunny and warm every time we came. And I just fell in love with Florida. There was just something about it. Like it just got me so excited every time we would come down here. And I remember telling myself, when I get older, like I'm going to move to Florida. It's going to happen. So that was my little dream that I had always, envisioned for myself. So once I was in nursing school and I finished nursing school, I told myself, once I graduate, I'm going to work full time, pay off all my debt, and I really want to move to Florida. And I have some family down here, not like immediate family, but I do have a few cousins down here, and they live sort of near, like a few hours away from me. But I don't all my other family is back in Jersey, Philly, or Puerto Rico. So I don't really have family down here. So at the time I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, like I've been home my whole life. Like this is going to be a big move. Will I do this? Will I be able to do this? Like, am I ready? And I was constantly questioning myself. And of course I had like, other people like questioning too, like, are you sure that's the right move for you? You're going to be by yourself. Everyone was worried. But just something inside me was just like, no, like I really want to do this. Like once I set a goal for myself, I have to complete it. Like if I set goals, they're going to get done. Even if it takes time, I'm going to accomplish them. Like once I set goals for myself, that's it. We doing the thing. So that was my goal. So once I graduated, I told myself, you know what? I want to move to Florida. And I was doing research on like children's hospitals and just different job opportunities down here, and I started looking at apartments. And I remember I got so excited. This was like a little over a year before I even moved down here, and I was just checking out different cities. Everyone knows Orlando, so I checked out Orlando. I checked out the West Coast. I checked out Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater. Was browsing, getting ideas, trying to say, okay, maybe I'll try this area. But I wasn't too sure yet. So I had a friend who lived in Tampa, and I was like, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity to go. My friend can show me around, show me like the different places. There were certain locations I had looked up that I wanted to see. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I booked a flight. I only stayed for like, I think it was 4 days. Yeah, 4 or 5 days. It was a really short trip. And I was so excited because this was the first time I was traveling alone and doing big girl things. I remember my parents were like, wow, you're actually going? I'm like, yeah, like I'm going to go check out the area and see if I get a feeling. Like, I feel like when you're supposed to do something or you're supposed to be somewhere, you get a feeling. Like, I always say, like, that's God trying to, like, communicate with you. Like, he just puts in your heart. And I was like, I'm going to go on the trip and I'm going to see, okay, if I get that feeling, then I know this is where I'm supposed to be. So booked the flight. Your girl was out here. I was so excited. As soon as I landed in Tampa, I saw the palm trees and I was freaking out inside like a little girl again. I was like, oh my gosh, there's palm trees and it's sunny. I was so excited. So those 4 days were amazing. So I get to Tampa. I'm exploring Tampa. I'm exploring St. Petersburg. I'm going to Clearwater. And I am like a little kid looking out the window, so excited, running on the beach, like checking out all the places. Like I was in heaven. Like I was so, so happy, like genuinely very happy. And I remember my cousin had come down. He actually came down to visit me for a little bit while I was down here because he's from Florida. And I had dropped him off and said goodbye and everything. And I was driving back to Tampa. So crazy because I remember exactly where I was when I had this moment. So I was driving. I remember the highway and everything. And I remember I had no music on. Like I was just in a quiet zone. And I was just like, I honestly was just like praying to God. And I was like so happy. And I was just like, what's the decision I should make? Like, I was like, I was so overwhelmed basically with so many different emotions. And I was so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Is it okay if I'm gonna be alone? Like, is that a smart choice? Like all these thoughts, going through my head. And as I'm driving, I had this weird feeling. Like, I can't even explain it, you guys. Like, it was like this feeling inside, like my heart literally jumped. It sounds corny, but it literally jumped. Like I got so excited and I just felt like this peace and like this assurance. And what I felt like, it's like I almost heard like a little voice in my head. And it was like, this is where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be in Florida. This is where your future is. This is where, you will possibly raise your kids. Like this is where you need to be. And I remember, like I said, like it was dead quiet. I was just driving on the highway and I remember smiling and I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never felt this feeling where I just felt so peaceful. And I knew like I had that assurance, like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be here. And I felt so confident in that. I was like, I know I'm supposed to be here in Florida. Like this is going to be my home. And this is where I want to raise my kids and I'll meet my mans. Like, like I felt so confident in that. And I had that peaceful feeling. So that got me excited because as soon as I got home, back to the Airbnb, I was packing my stuff and I was just like, I'm so excited to like share with my family, like, about the trip, the places I looked at and where I'm going to end up going. So I flew back home and as I'm on the plane, I already, in my head, I'm like, all right, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do so I can be here in a year. So I go back home and I tell my family and they're super excited for me and they can see it on my face. Like even my parents now, like, they know I'm so happy here. And I know for a fact that they saw like my face just glowing when I came home. Like I was so happy just telling them about the trip. And I was like, guys, like, I know I'm supposed to be here. Like I really felt that like, this is where I belonged. So once I came back to Jersey, I had my plan set out and I was praying on it every day. The goal was, okay, so I'm going to work for a year full time as a nurse, pay off all my debt. I wanted no debt when I moved. I'm a very structured person. Like I write down everything. I have to do list and everything. I need to see it. I need to visualize it and just writing it down helps me like gather my thoughts. And also, I don't know, just to check things off a checklist, I don't know. It makes me like, if I write it down, I'm more likely to get it done because then I can cross it off and be like, yeah, accomplished. I don't know. That's just me. So I came home and wrote down my plan. October 2020, I'm moving to Florida. No debt. I'm going to have a job. Everything is going to be good. So that's what I did. I worked full time. I paid off all my debt, all my school debt. And once October 2020 came around, your girl was ready to move. And it was so exciting. I couldn't believe it. It was very bittersweet, honestly. Moving was, like I said, all my family is in Jersey. I have some cousins over here, but my immediate family, all my friends, everyone's in Jersey. So it was tough. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, it was very tough. I was super excited. I packed up my room, the room I literally grew up in 24 years. said goodbye to my room. And even that was just so weird. Like, I was like, whoa, like, this is actually happening. Like, when I saw my room empty, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is really happening. Like, I dreamed about this for so long, and today's the day, like, it's happening. So it was tough to leave because there were so many memories. You know, I made my rounds and said goodbye to my family. And that was hard. It didn't even feel real, honestly, but, you know, it was. And I remember saying goodbye to my family, my parents and my brother, because my parents were going to fly down later on that week to help me move in. I had a few friends that were going to help me move in down here and drive down with me. So they were meeting up with me later. But still, though, like, it was the last time I was going to be in the house with them for, you know, I didn't know how long. So that was tough, saying goodbye to my parents. And I remember, you know, giving my dad a hug and my brother Brandon, and we all cried, and my mom too. Like, it was tough. Like, I think about it now, it makes me want to cry because it was hard. You know, my family and I, we are super, super close. We have such a great relationship, and, you know, have such amazing parents. They raised us so well, and we're such a close family. So, you know, I was the firstborn, and, you know, the baby too. Not the baby, but, you know, of course I was my parents' baby too, even though Brandon's the youngest. But, you know, it was hard. It was their first child leaving. And my dad, I remember, he goes, you couldn't pick like somewhere closer to live. You had to go all the way down south to Florida. And I was like, I know, I'm sorry, you know, but I knew I had to be here. But, and they, you know, they were very supportive as well. Like, they never gave me a hard time or anything. They were very supportive and super excited for me. So it definitely, it made me feel good to know my parents were super supportive and just ready for me to embark on this new journey. So that helped a lot. So I said all my goodbyes, and then it was time to leave. So from Jersey to Florida, that drive was 18 hours. A very, very long drive. So my friend and I, we actually left in the evening. Yeah, we left in the evening. So we basically traveled all throughout the night and got to Florida the following day at like 11 in the morning. So it was a long drive, but you know what? It was a fun road trip. You know, you get music, you have good conversations. Like, it was not a bad drive. And honestly, driving overnight, you kill a lot of traffic. Like, there's barely anyone on the road. So it was actually really good timing, but I was so tired. Even though I was accustomed to night shift, that drive, it's just different driving at night. Like, you get exhausted. But we made it to Florida. I remember as soon as I saw the sign, Florida welcomes you, and the palm trees, I was going crazy. I was like, let me take a picture. So I took my pictures, and then, yeah, I was in the Sunshine State, and it did not feel real, but I was so excited. So I moved into my apartment, and actually, which I forgot to mention this earlier, my best friend ended up moving with me to Florida too. So she's from Jersey as well, and she's one of my close friends from high school. She came with me to Florida, so it helped too, and it gave my parents comfort too, knowing that, like, I wasn't going alone. I was going to be going with my best friend, and that was like a last minute thing. But I'm telling you, God knows, like, who you need in your life and when, because having her here has been amazing. Like, it's been so nice. She's like my sister, and it's my first time, you know, living away from my family. So having her here is like having a little piece of home too. So I'm definitely grateful for that. So yeah, so we moved to Tampa Bay area, and I love it here so, so much. Like, I literally, I could talk about it for hours. Like, just something about Florida and this area as well. It's healing. I will say that it is healing. I've discovered so many different places in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. I love going out on adventures. Like, I cannot stay inside for too long. Like, I always have to do something, but I love doing outdoorsy things. So, you know, the beaches, having the beaches here, and just being able to go outside whenever and wear shorts and flip-flops and sandals and dresses, like, whenever, is awesome. Like, I don't have to wear a coat. I don't have to wear boots. I don't have to wear a scarf and a hat. Like, snow does not exist down here, and it's amazing. I love it. I truly love it. And it's honestly always, for the most part, always sunny in Florida. There's some days where it rains, but it's actually nice the rainy days because it's sunny basically all the time. So it's definitely a good vibe down here. So yeah, I mean, living in Florida has, like I said, it's been a huge blessing, for me. It's been healing, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Like, leaving Jersey was the best thing that I ever did for myself. And it was the biggest risk, honestly, that I've taken in life. And it was the best one. I had a lot of people that were concerned, and they were like, are you sure you should do that? And some doubts here and there. And it was all with good intention, of course. Your family loves you, your friends, they just want you to be safe. But I just, I knew I was supposed to be down here. And like I say, I set a goal, I'm gonna make it happen. Like, even if it doesn't happen exactly how I want it to happen, I'm still gonna work hard and make it happen. I get very determined, I'm focused, and I had prayed about it for so long. And the fact that everything worked out and transitioned well, I was like, I know this is confirmation. Like, this is what God wants. And don't get me wrong, there's been some bumps in the road. Nothing's ever perfect. But I know this is where I'm supposed to be. Being down here these last few months, I definitely can say I've grown so much. I've learned so much about myself. Every day I'm constantly learning and growing and, realizing like what's important, what matters, what I should be making a priority in my life, not sweating the small stuff. It really puts things into perspective. Being in a different state, being away from family, now I'm focusing on, my future, my goals, my health, what do I want out of life? What am I looking for? And definitely I would say being alone and just getting away from your hometown, it really does put a lot into perspective. Highly, highly recommend, if you can and you have the opportunity, move out of your hometown. Try something different. When you travel, I feel like your mind like expands, like you learn about different cultures, different environments. I don't know, like it's just, all is your hometown, right? And it's like, no, there's so much more out there. And I think being on your own, stepping out of your comfort zone, like I said, you learn so much about yourself. There's a lot of growth that takes place when you're on your own. Obviously, you got to pay bills. You got to learn how to budget, adult things. But, you also can take the time for yourself and just, figure out who you are. Who do you want to be in life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want to do? Who do you want to be? Being on your own, not having distractions, it helps you focus and have like that tunnel vision. Like, okay, like this is where I see myself. This is what I want to be. That's what I've been experiencing down here. You also become very independent. And that's so, so important. You never want to depend on anybody. It's so important to be, dependent on yourself, be confident with yourself, and just be there for yourself, period. Also, just moving to a new place is super exciting. It really is a clean slate. It's a fresh start. You don't really know anyone. Either you have some friends or you just don't know anyone at all. It's a new opportunity. It's so exciting, to go to a new place and just discover new things and meet new people. I mean, like I said, this world is such a big place. There's so many things out here for us to, explore and see and, people to meet. You just never know where God's going to take you. You really don't. Like, if I, think about it now, 5 years ago, did I think I'd be here? Probably not. I always thought about it, dreamt about it, but then I was like, whatever, but then when I actually made it a point, a little over a year ago, I was like, no, this is going to happen. I prayed about it and I worked hard towards that goal. It happened. And now I'm like, wow, like I never would have thought like I would have met the people that I have so far, or that I would be living with my best friend, or that I would get a dog, like you just don't know what God has planned for your life. And honestly, any opportunity that comes up in your life, go for it. Take the risk, as long as it's safe. Be open to new opportunities that come your way. Be open to change. These things that happen in your life are for a purpose. Each situation allows you to grow into the best version of yourself. It's like different levels that you're accessing. And, if there's, anything you could take away from this episode, I just really encourage you guys to just, step out of your comfort zone. There's so many benefits of, being on your own, just learning, you're going to learn so much more about yourself. And if, most of you guys know, like I'm all about like self-growth, self-awareness, loving yourself. Like these are truly key things you need to access in life, in order to grow and be the best version of yourself. We can't be afraid of change or taking a risk. Again, obviously, prayer that's something that's like huge when it comes to decision making. Just, praying about it, meditating, whatever it is you do, write down what it is you want to accomplish, and then just pray about it. Ask yourself, like, okay, is this the right thing that I should do? Don't just impulsively make a decision. Really sit back and think about it, plan for it, and just meditate, pray on it, and then see how you feel. You will get that confirmation like I did. You will get that reassurance, that peace. You'll know it's the right thing to do. And it's going to be the biggest blessing for you. There's endless opportunities in this life. I'm learning that every day. And one thing that I will say as well, I've learned to appreciate the little things in life, being away from home. Obviously, living at home, it's different. It's like comfort zone. Mom and dad, are there. They'll cook every once in a while. They'll help you. It's different living at home versus living on your own. And I think, oh my gosh, like, I'm like, oh, I miss these little things. I miss my dad's home cooked meals. I miss, my mom helping me clean or whatever it was, or just spending time with family and friends. Really being on your own and being away from family, I've realized, how important it is to appreciate every moment of the day that you're given, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. And, we see how crazy the world is and how really anything can happen at any point in our lives. And it's really important to just, like I said, appreciate the little things in life. Don't take anything for granted, and, just be open to just new things. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what amazing opportunities are going to come your way. And I think that's the exciting part about life is, we can't tell the future. We don't have, oh, tomorrow this is going to happen. That's what makes life exciting, because, you're in control of your happiness. You can plan how you want your day to go tomorrow. And again, your days won't always go as planned. And that's something that I've learned, because I'm always like, okay, this is the plan. And usually my plans don't happen 100% how I want them to. But I think that's just God trying to tell me, like, hey girl, you got to trust me more and stop relying on yourself. Because, with him, well, most of you guys know, like, my faith is a really big thing in my life. I know with him, like, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish everything I have in life. So I know that he's like the number one guidance in my life, and praying about these things and, whatever it is that I'm dealing with in life, I know going through him helps me feel more confident when it comes to my decision making. And the moments when I don't go to him and I just do things on my own, it never really works out well. So, but that's just my experience. But anyways, with all that being said, moving to a whole new state is definitely something I encourage you all to do if you have the opportunity to do so, or just to move out of your hometown in general. It will be the biggest blessing in your life, guarantee. And you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to just constantly grow every day. It's just exciting. And I really encourage you to do so. Stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the best things you can ever do for yourself, because so much growth comes along with it. And like I said, it's going to put a lot of things into perspective in life, and you're going to really learn, like, the things that do matter in life, appreciate the little things, not take anything for granted, and just learn what to prioritize, learn how to prioritize what's important and what's not. So I definitely encourage it. And I am, like I say, from my experience, like, I am super happy here in Florida. This has been the best decision I ever made. Don't get me wrong, though, I miss my family every day and my friends. And, I think that's been the difficult part, moving to a whole new state. But thank God for FaceTime and all that stuff, because it definitely helps. And I feel still so close to my friends and family, even though I'm 2,000 miles away from home. So thank God for technology. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And for those of you who are contemplating moving out of state or out of your hometown, I hope you found this episode to be helpful, and that you got some tips and advice to help you in your decision making as well. And stay tuned for next week's episode. Again, thank you guys so much for the love and support and for the DMs. I appreciate, oh, can't even speak. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm so excited for future episodes and just to keep throwing content out here for you guys. So like I said, just DM me on my personal Instagram or my Good Vibras podcast Instagram and tell me what you want to hear, or if you have any questions, I'll be there. So hit me up, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the week. and good vibras always. Bye, guys.